I'm probably starting to agree more with the radical capitalists, anarchist libertarians on this issue, particularly.
We're not the same.
No, I know, but there's just like it's an umbrella of some agreement on more laissez-faire capitalism.
Right.
Not that it's all identical. That's why I say I'm agreeing with all of them in different respects.
Right.
Just because I'm thinking about, so one of the things we're doing is trying to open a social club with poker, and it's completely illegal in West Virginia. And so, but get this, I'm like, and gambling in general, okay? I'm not the biggest fan of gambling, right? I like going to an arcade. You take $50, you get your tokens on your card, and you can play beer pong and basketball, and you might win a stuffed animal. My view of casinos are you come with $100. When that $100 is gone, you had your entertainment from the night. You don't go there trying to get rich. That being said, you're allowed in this country to walk into a Ben and Jerry's, buy a 5-gallon drum of half-baked, and eat it till you are hospitalized, but you can't wager amongst your buddies your own money on a sporting event. You're watching a football with your friends and you're like, let's put $100 down. Oh, now you've broken the law.
Madness.
Not like anyone's going to come and hunt you down for it. But when it comes to playing poker with your friends, in Texas, they actually raid some of these social clubs of people who have decided among themselves to play a game. And I'm just like, it got me thinking about the constitutional limits of what someone is allowed to do with their money. We had the Citizens United ruling like 10 years ago or whatever it was, where they said money is speech and you can spend an unlimited amount of money on political speech so long as it's not directly colluding with the politician. And then I'm just thinking about that and I'm like, so we agree you can spend your money as you see fit on whatever you want, even if it's $1 billion into our political system, which changes the fabric of society. But I can't take $25 and bet my buddy that the Bengals or whatever team is going to win or something.
Well, thank God for the political class saving us from ourselves.
See, not without the government getting their cut anyways.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of profit going on in there. There's capital gains that they need to get a hold of. So,
and then we had in New York, Bloomberg wanted the sin taxes.
Yeah,
but this is actually, man, I'm completely opposed to this. I completely oppose taxation for the purpose of social engineering, like taxes on gas or taxes on cigarettes, soda. Or taxes on soda.
Yeah,
sure, me too.
Yeah. But I guess going back to what you were just talking about, I don't know if I would agree with the whole organ thing.
Yeah, how do you prevent how do you prevent the lowest class of person who is struggling financially from making a decision that might be bad for them?
Well, you don't. Because that's what free will is all about, is making decisions, some of which are good, some of which are bad. But if that person decides, given the alternatives that they have, that this is actually the best possible alternative for them, why would you deprive them of that? That's what I want to say.
And making sure that they're properly informed about the risks.
I mean, look, being informed about something is your responsibility. I mean,
so like if there was somebody and you went to them and said, I would like to offer you $100,000 for your kidney. And they're like,
I'll pay for your hospitalization. I'll pay for everything. Here's the hospital we're going to be at. Here's the doctor. I'll give you any research material that you need. You can consult with the doctor. I mean, of course, if you're going into an exchange with somebody, you have to go in with both eyes open and know as much as you possibly can about the territory you're going to enter into.
And so would you then say defrauding the individual, lying to them in any way is a criminal element?
Absolutely. Just like it would be in any other exchange.
So like, right. So if you went to someone and said, I'll buy both your kidneys, don't worry, you'll be fine, you don't need them anyway. And then they say, sure.
That person would be stupid to take that because you can't live without your kidneys.
But that's the issue, right? There's this balance we try to find between protecting stupid people from assholes. You know what I mean? And to a certain degree, you can't.
You can't, but you can, you can prosecute them when they do bad things like that, when they lie, and there's actual consequences in the material world for them defrauding somebody.
Here's a challenge, I suppose. Okay, so in this scenario, a guy goes to a stupid person, maybe their IQ is very low, and says, I'm going to buy both your kidneys, and I'll give you $100,000. And the person's like, well, that sounds good to me. And then, so that's fraud and it's causing harm. But then I wonder, what if they're both stupid? What if the guy offering the money is actually really dumb as well? He's like, I'm pretty sure you don't need kidneys. And the guy's like, sounds good to me. I mean,
yeah, we could probably trace these examples out. forever and ever and ever. But you can't prevent people from making bad choices. I mean, you know, all these vice laws are about, you know, trying to prevent people from making bad choices. Gambling may be legal in the United States if there weren't people who gambled their entire lives away and their life savings and ruined their families and their own reputations.
But maybe they should. Like, I kind of feel, and maybe I'll be callous. It's callous to say this, but we can't just preserve stupid people. It's impossible. Now, look, I'm not saying we let people die. I'm saying if you see someone walking towards a cliff with a blindfold on, you stop them from going off the cliff. But at a certain point, if there's, you know, stupid people will do stupid things that cause harm to themselves, their families, and lives.
Yes.
And that's reality. It's natural selection. And the left's view of this is like, how dare you? We must save every single person all the time. Okay, my view is within our means, within our power, yes, we try to save everybody. But I'm saying we can't save everybody. We can save as many as possible. But this means ultimately there will be, right now, somewhere in the world, a guy just fell off a cliff. A guy was taking a picture on the edge of a canyon and then fell backwards and now he's dead. It probably just happened.
We actually just covered a story like that recently where like an influencer was taking a selfie on a balcony and fell over. Like not that long ago.
And it's like, what are you going to do? Are we going to put cages around all balconies?
It got 2 million views, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Do we put nets around every building now because that happened one time?
And I'm kind of the same opinion because I'm in recovery, but I also am one of those people that does, like, the drug war has done irreparable damage to the country and to the world. So I'm of the opinion that you have the right as an adult to do what you want to do. Now, you can't drive drunk. You're not supposed to be driving inebriated, but I don't think that it's beneficial to spend billions of dollars trying to stop people from doing things that's just going to push them to a black market anyways.
And plus, what are the unintended consequences of the drug war? I mean, you're introducing a black market, right, which introduces violence and has had the effect of building up these massive criminal enterprises right on the border that control entire towns. Now, Americans may be a little remote from the fact that these cartels control towns, murder people indiscriminately, hang them from frickin' cranes. You know, they're not subject to the terrorism that we're starting to be subject to the terrorism. But, you know, the conservatives will bitch and moan about immigrants and the cartels controlling the flood of humanity in here and the drugs that they're bringing into the United States. But their solution is never to legalize drugs, which would immediately castrate the cartels in the same way that, you know, ending prohibition stopped the growth of the mafia.
Get this. So with the legalization of marijuana in places like Colorado and Oregon and things like that, the cartels lost a substantial amount of revenue. So they started to look for a different cash crop. And you know what they settled on? Avocados.
Really?
No joke. Avocados. The cartels realized marijuana's become legal and it's a cheap product.
And you know what? And when you smoke some weed, you're going to want that guacamole.
No joke. But here's the thing. Avocados are very expensive. So when it came down to marijuana was only valuable because it was restricted. Once the restrictions were lifted, all of a sudden it's like, well, now it's just this cheap product that everyone's got everywhere. But avocados are you can grow pot wherever. You know, we were in Austin. They had pot shops with the pot growing in the windows. In Austin. And so now the cartels are like, okay, we can't make as much money off this anymore because it's readily available, cheap, and legal. Avocados are also readily available, cheap, and legal, but hard to grow. So they immediately started going to producers and being like, we're going to handle the transport for all your avocados. Now it's all legal. Now it's the cartels are legally dealing in avocados.
There you go. That's great, and that's how capitalism brings peace to a market, right? When you start restricting products for which there is a market, you introduce violence into it because people are going to get it one way or another. And by the way, I don't have any dog in this fight because I'm 6 years sober, so I don't care about drugs.
And also impurity, like with the fentanyl, with people talking about the fentanyl crisis, that is because the cartels and people that are making it illegally can substitute ingredients that would be healthier, or not healthier, but would be able to make them into the pure state so they would be able to use them safely. As safely as possible. So when you start to outlaw and they have to substitute things like that, then you get the crisis we have with fentanyl right now.
And you get the breach of rights that happens when you give organizations like the Drug Enforcement Agency all of these powers to seize your assets, break into your home, take you prisoner. And
they do it selectively.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. There's a really funny story on the internet a long time ago where a guy bought a house, and then he put grow lamps all over the house. And then I think it was the DA, I'm not sure, or sheriff's department. They were illegally scanning houses for high power consumption and grow lights, and then just raiding them under the assumption it was an illegal, pot grow house. And so they break into this house, and what do they find? It's empty, and there's live streaming cameras all over the place, and like a sign saying like you've just violated the Fourth Amendment, something like that. They got so pissed off. I think they tried to arrest the guy or something.
Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, we're approaching police state status.
I think we're in.
We're probably in it, but
Like-
it's still a little more benign than what we've seen in the past, and what
Definitely.
exists other places. But we're getting there.